Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name is Green D, and the man in the box that's very well lit this morning is Baby.
Aye, aye.
Now then, Treacle. You any plans to venture out today? No, you haven't. No, you will stay where you are. But that's fine because we're here. It's live. It's 20 past 10. On Tuesday the 24th. Yes, I did just have to look at the calendar on the little bottom corner of the screen just to figure out what day it was. It's fine. It's fine. It's a couple of days of isolation, and I don't know where the fuck I am. It's like that gap between Christmas and New Year. Apart from you're still working through it, so it's just like
Yeah. Well, the people who listen to this on audio podcast won't realise that you've just decided to nearly headbutt your screen to look at the date and time. So don't worry about it.
headbutt my screen.
Yes.
My screen's all the way back there. I did nearly hit my mic pop filter though, which is just there. So yes. Good morning, or good evening if you are watching this on demand, or good afternoon, or in the early hours, whatever time of day it is. Welcome. We are Ice Cream, and this is the Scoop, your daily dose of news from the games industry and beyond. And obviously, this is your isolation station. I fucked that up twice. 2 days this week I've stopped trying to say that. I fucked it up. This is your isolation station. And we are obviously the UK's #1 video games podcast. Self-proclaimed. And we are bringing you all of our thoughts and impressions of everything that's happened in the last 24 hours or so within the world of video games. We give you our thoughts and impressions so that you, if you are live on Twitch, can give your thoughts and impressions back. That's the kind of the deal. We share opinions, and we have a little bit of a good old chinwag, which is important that we do that because we turn this into a YouTube video a little bit later on today, and then an audio podcast as well, which goes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play. So we have audio and video podcasts. You get the ability to pause and rewind and fast forward and do all the magical things you can do with on-demand content, but you can't get involved with the conversation live. So if you are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, please feel free to use the chat box, which is just over there. So yeah, please feel free to say hello. Use the exclusive emote, which sounds a little bit like this.
Hello.
There we go. I thought you were like on your phone or something. I'm just gonna completely miss it. Like what?
No, absolutely not. I'm always tuned in. You know what I mean? When I'm in this mode, I'm always tuned in. Especially have you noticed though? Since we've been doing this from home, our internet connections have been like fair enough. Yesterday the bitwit was a bit dodgy, but I can actually hear you full time. It's definitely something in our office, I think.
You've just said that out loud now, babe, which is just pretty much.
I know, but I
crippled it.
mean, you've credit where credit's due. Our internet's actually holding up.
It is. Jump to the split screen. There we go. And for those of you asking, I've had numerous people messaging me privately on Twitter and in the whispers on Ice Cream Uploads. I mean, yes, Bibby is wearing a red United shirt there this morning. And we'll just leave it at that, and we won't say any more. We won't add any more context to the situation. We'll just move on. That's fine. But yes, thank you very much for the host, Mr. Ads Place. How the
Thank
devil are you,
you.
sir? How's Tricks, mate? How's your Ice Cream Uploads goodies settling in as well, by the way? I've not mentioned that to you while we've been on the scoop yet. I did see your picture, what was it, last weekend? When I was off my face on my way home in a car after a stag do. But it's fine. Yes. Should we jump into the news, Bib? What do you reckon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
Go on then. Okay. There we go. Our first story, if you will have been checking this out on Twitter, you'll have seen already that our first bit of news of the day is that Call of Duty Warzone is getting new weapons in today's update. This is written by Sherif, Saed for VG247. And the article says, Call of Duty Warzone and Modern Warfare are due for an update today. Later today, Call of Duty Warzone will be getting a bit of a weapon loot shake-up, and Modern Warfare receives a new map. So the pool of weapons found in Warzone is being expanded with the with the 7.25 shotgun and the Mark II carbine, the EBR-14 marksman rifle, and the Deagle.
That's Desert Eagle.
Yeah. I thought I'd missed something out then, but no, yeah. All four will drop in common and uncommon rarities. As for Modern Warfare multiplayer, the map teased all the way back at the start of Season 2 is nearly here. Called Kandua Hideout, this 6v6 map, medium-sized map is set in Uzbekistan? Is that a real place?
I don't think I've ever heard that before. That can't be a real place.
Uh,
You know what? I'm gonna Google it while you read that.
yeah, there we go. Elsewhere, in today's update, a new operator bundle will be available on the store featuring Talon, the operator you've been seeing in screenshots and teased in-game. Talon is a coalition operator and comes with his dog, who features in his finishing move. Talon's bundle includes 2 weapon blueprints and 2 tier skips. Infinity Ward did not say when the update will drop, but it's safe to assume it'll be at the usual 11 a.m. PT, 2 p.m. ET, and 6 p.m. UK spot. It's worth noting, however, that new content won't be available for another 12 hours. So, 6...
That's weird. Why will it update and then you not be able to play it for 12 hours?
I don't know. So yes, to finish that sentence then, Infinity Ward did not say when the update will drop, but it's safe to assume it'll be at the usual 6 p.m. UK spot. It's worth noting, however, that new content won't be available for another 12 hours, so 6 a.m.
Oh,
UK.
I get it. So it's 12 hours from the time that this was written. So it'll be available at 6 p.m., but it'll be 12 hours from when this was written.
But this was written at 8:50 GMT.
Yesterday. Oh no, this morning. Oh shit, I thought that was yesterday's date.
So I think you were probably right with the first bit. There will be the update will happen at 6 p.m. UK, but then it won't actually roll out until 6 a.m. Is that to give? I've no idea. If anyone knows,
within the next 24 hours, you are gonna have some new content.
If you could let us know by 10 a.m. UK tomorrow, or even 10 p.m. UK tomorrow, 12 hours later. I mean, you can give us the information, but we'll hold on to it for 12 hours before we start talking about it, because that's what Call of Duty are doing. I've no idea. Okay, so Warzone, that's kind of the main thing for most people right now. 4 new weapons. So the weapons pool is being expanded with the 7.25 shotgun, the Mark II carbine, the EBR-14 marksman rifle, and the Deagle. Which will drop in common and uncommon rarities. I'm guessing that's like getting a white shotgun on Fortnite versus a green kind of thing.
Have you played it yet?
I haven't.
It's hella fun, you know.
I'm completely on board with it. It says Graham. I'm completely on board with playing it. It's just I've just hit my level 100 on PUBG, so I can take a bit of a step back from that. But then obviously last night, R8. You are?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say mutter the words that was gonna get me a bit moist.
Well,
you started Resident Evil.
No, I was gonna do that the weekend, to be fair, but everything else that's been ongoing, we kind of distracted, and that's what I was doing last night. I think last night I was watching Bojo's speech about isolation and lockdown is shit. Is it lockdown? Is it not lockdown? I don't know. People getting angry over what we call it. It doesn't matter. But yes, needed that stress ball a lot, says Ads. It's pish. What, the stress ball is? God, it's the last time we sent you a stress ball. Also, free play is only till April 23rd. What, free play on Warzone is only till April 23rd? Surely not.
Nah, I'm not having that. That's on a fucking wind up, that. One sec. Call of Duty free to play April 23rd. Not having that. I haven't seen that anywhere.
It's not April Fool's Day, is it?
No, not yet. It's not for another 7 days, I don't think.
There's absolutely no way that I believe that Warzone is going to be a limited time freebie.
Nah, I can't see anything on that.
They wouldn't have had it as a standalone like that. And there was this big story about how it's entirely free to play on PlayStation, but not on Xbox, because you need to have Xbox Live Gold to play it, so technically it's not free. Is Warzone a timed free? I doubt it.
He's got us frantically searching now. Is it? We played it right into his hands here.
I don't think it is.
I can't see nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume Ads plays is wrong. No, Ads, no. I don't know if you can find us a link, send it through. But as far as I'm aware, it's not.
Out of 1 billion results, there isn't anything that said that is not for that. It's timed exclusive. I mean, I'd like if it is, then yeah, then do feel free to let us know and give us some sort of source. But I'm gonna say on this occasion you probably are, because I can't find anything with different keywords in Google to say otherwise.
It's probably people are stuck indoors, and they've got nothing better to do than just be numpties that post crap. Like those people that were like, "There's tanks going up and down the motorways," and now there's people fighting in Stratford from 2011. So yeah, it's probably just some numpties trying to create some sort of drama there. I've just hit play on a trailer for Call of Duty Warzone, thinking it was going to be like a 50-second new trailer. It's like 4 minutes long, so let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of it. Get out of here. So when did you last play it then, Bibs?
When did I? Oh, I played it on Sunday with Phantom.
Oh yeah. Was that on PC?
No, I was playing it on PlayStation. So I was in his chat, and he needed a third. And he said, "Do you want to play?" And I was like, "Mate, I am shit. I don't." he said, "No, don't worry about it. Come in." And him and his mate, JT Money, were just unreal. Like they were just getting kills, and I think I got 2 kills in like 5 games. I was basically just getting money for them, dropping money and bullets. I was basically the bag bitch for them, just carrying all the stuff. But yeah, that's I played it on Sunday. It's good. I did play a few games in solo. I did really well in solos, but in the team part, I just get to get shot in the back. Like every single time, I was just getting nailed from behind. Oh no. So we'd be someone at like Phantom will be pinging in front of us, like they're on the roof. So I'll be flanking right side. JT will be flanking the left side, and then just as I'm about to peel round, like a team will come from behind, and then take me out first. But the thing is, it makes me look even shit than I already am because I'm the first one to die. But that's just an absolute inconvenience for me because I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, Phantom's there going, "Do you want to jump in?" You're going, "I'm shit," and he's like, "Nah, it's all right. Jump in." After a couple of games, Phantom's like, "So are you going offline now, then, baby? Yeah, have you done now?"
I cut my losses. I was like, "Oh, mate, I've got so much to do," and I just sat in the bed and cried for a bit. But him and JT are just unreal. Like they said that they used to sweat out Call of Duty for hours and hours back in the day, and they kept on calling JT Captain America. So I don't know if it was another streamer. But everyone in the chat knew who it was. So I'm guessing he was just like a high-profile streamer at some point. Or he could still be I don't know. But
what was it? Yeah. Was it like JT Money or something like that?
Yeah, that's his name, yeah.
Do you know what? I was going to Google it, but we'll do that later because it's too much like effort right now. I was going to say something. Oh, that was it. I watched a little bit more Warzone last night. Obviously, the doc was playing. He was playing with Nick Merckx, and I can't remember who the third was. And I tuned in a little bit early on, and they were getting absolutely trashed, and they're all kind of like going, "I think we're being a bit too aggressive." And Doc's like, "Fuck this! I want violence, speed, and momentum. That's what it's all about. I want to go in and get those big money moments, kind of thing." So and it just kind of wasn't working. So I thought, it's a bit nah. So I zoned off. Came back about an hour or so later on, and just as I came back, they were fucking on fire. It was like a 54 kill game or something. It's like, damn.
That's all it takes for them three though, just to be able to click, and then that is it, game over. Like they're just gonna run rampant. But I seen Bates last night was playing it with Summit and Castro.
Yeah. Imagine fucking being. I mean, Bateson said he didn't do much. I imagine he was probably kind of bag bitch like you were, just running around. Here's some more money.
Yeah, hold that, mate.
Yeah, you hold on to that $4.5 grand. I'm just gonna go back into the sky and parachute back in if you don't mind. Thanks, mate.
That's pretty much what it was like. But yeah, I am enjoying it. It's very, very good. I also played it with, obviously Asim and Barry, not last weekend before for a couple of games. That was enjoyable. I'm just shit at the game. That's all it is. Like I am. In solos, I can look after myself then because I don't have to worry about anybody else. But you know this as well as I do. When I'm playing games like that, I am not a tactician. I'm just so aggressive that everything else just goes out the window. So you're like, no, we're gonna build it. We're gonna watch what they're doing, and then we'll move. It's like
we'll drop smokes left and we'll flank right. Jobs are good. And Bibby's like, ah! Straight down the middle.
Yeah, so this is why I die so much. But again, on Fortnite, I play for the battle pass. I don't play for the win. If I'm in a top 10 situation, I'll play for the win. But ultimately, I want to get my battle pass done, and then I'm dipping out. But there is a battle pass in Call of Duty, but I've not bought it. So I'm just getting the free one at the moment. So it is quite nice. But I mean, I'm flying through the levels even on the free one. So Christ knows, you could probably get the the paid battle pass done in about 2 days. I'm at level 45 and I've played 15 games, if that.
Well, you were talking about Asim. I keep seeing Asim posting videos. He had a win last night with Barry, and I'm assuming it was Carrasco. I can't actually remember. And I saw it's not like sorry for the swears. And it was like the last guy. Asim came over the hill. There's a dude down below him, shoots him death, and you just hear Asim go, "Fuck you!" I was like, "Yeah." So that's kind of. There's nothing better than those like little explosions of "fuck yeah, get out, little bitch." Gentlemen, says the adventurous in the chat. Good day, sir. How the devil are you?
Day. Did you see the video of me posting the kids saying the new music lessons going well, and it's just one kid's on like a keyboard, the other one's just screaming down a microphone.
No, I didn't see that.
That'd send me right under. I won't need that.
This is where you deploy the keys and lock all the doors with a child in each room, and it's fine. It's fine. I'm not joking. Please don't report me to the police. Anyway, that's enough Call of Duty Warzone-ish. Let's move on. We did say yesterday we will try and keep away from the topical situation of Corona as much as possible, because you're going to get that everywhere. Every time you look at Twitter, it'll be Corona. Every time you look at the BBC News, it'll be Corona. And so we thought we'll keep away from it as much as possible. But, big news last night, so no doubt we have to touch on that as well. But before I do, from what I've seen, a couple of sites say the update is deployed 6 p.m, but will go live at 6 a.m. Dextro.com and Daily Express. Do you mean Deserto or Dextro? Because Dextro, isn't dextrose a kind of sugar? I don't know. But anyway, let's get discussing now and bring this article up on screen. UK government shuts down all non-essential shops as part of measures to halt coronavirus. Closures continue for at least 3 weeks. Written by Matt Wales for Eurogamer. So the British government has announced all shops selling non-essential goods, a term that applies to all video game, electronic stores, including game, are to close effective immediately as part of sweeping measures intended to limit the impact of coronavirus in the UK. In a broadcast to the nation earlier this evening, 23rd March, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson confirmed the government was ordering the closure of all shops across the UK selling non-essential goods, including clothing and electronic stores. The government's follow-up guidelines are even clearer, explicitly stating that all retail will remain closed for at least 3 weeks from 23rd of March, with some exceptions, including supermarkets, pharmacies, petrol stations, pet shops, post offices, and banks, bringing an end to the uncertainty that has plagued the high streets in recent weeks. Although some retailers had voluntarily halted operations following the government's announcement on Friday that all bars and restaurants would be closed, many game stores, including Argos, Currys, CEX and Smiths, elected to remain open across the UK. Video game high street specialist Game, for instance, finally announced it would be closing its Belong arenas earlier today in light of the government's social distancing guidelines, but would keep its retail stores open, a deeply concerning prospect for many of its frontline staff. As of right now, we are still expected to go in, but we are hoping today might be the day, one game store manager told Eurogamer prior to the government's new lockdown measures. With everywhere else on the high street just about shut, there isn't much else open besides game. It feels now that we are relying on the government to step in before it gets out of hand. And that, of course, is precisely what has now happened. However, deeply store executives might wish to keep their doors open in spite of the escalating coronavirus crisis, that option is no longer available with a government-mandated lockdown now in place nationwide. Few retailers have publicly responded to new measures yet, presumably given the lateness of the announcement, but I'll update this story if anything notable unfolds. I know my thoughts on that. What are your thoughts, Bib? With your knit comb.
Yeah, my beard comb is getting a bit out of hand at the moment, so I might need to trim it at some point. But that's besides the point. It's the same thing that we've had for a while now. Why are you only closing the Belong stuff and then not your actual stores? Surely there'll be less people going through your Belong stores than there would be the actual people buying the games. Very odd.
My thoughts are the reason they've closed the Belong stuff is to give a semblance of trying to look like they want to close the stores and look after the staff. That is the same as McDonald's and everyone going, okay, we're having no sit-in, so you can take your food and leave, but we don't want anyone to sit in and create that sort of petri dish of people's coughs and things like that. But no, it's just it's not essential stuff, and there's a trend here. because Game were fighting to stay open until the last minute. They had no intention of closing, from what it looks like, and I don't know if it's true, but what was it? I'm fairly sure Sports Direct this morning has posted something out saying that they're trying to stay open because they see themselves as essential retail, because the Prime Minister's speech last night included the fact that people should stay fit, should stay healthy. They are allowed to leave their house to do an exercise once per day, so be that a jog or a run or even just a walk or whatever. So people will need to buy spandex pants to be able to go and run. And we, as an essential part of the UK ability to get through this, will stay open and be the ones that provide those pieces of spandex to the UK audience.
Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. Mike Ashley's just a disgrace, says Adsplay.
It genuinely is, though. Like, as a businessman, he's a shithouse. As a person, he's an even bigger shithouse. So the fact that he is keeping open, I mean, it'll be the same with Debenhams then, surely. Or they actually close that part of the high street.
I'm not sure. As far as I'm aware, they aren't. I think everything's shut in terms of Debenhams and that. They backtracked 2 hours ago, according to the BBC. Okay. So it's basically just been called out, and there's quite a few.
Thinks of Waterstones again, doesn't it?
There's quite a few trackers, I think that's the best way to call it, which aren't necessarily trackers in terms of like official programs, but there are accounts out there. There was something like the UK shame list or something like that, and it was basically the COVID-19 shame list, and it's a Twitter account that's been created to highlight people that are taking the piss when we get into a time of national crisis, because the streets don't forget. That's what it is. So when all this is blown over and we're all back to 100% going living our normal lives, that corner shop that you've been going to forever, that suddenly has tried to charge you 20 quid for one bottle of Purell, that sports clothing store that's tried to make all its staff get infected so it can make a few quid on selling spandex because it's essential retail sort of stuff, all that kind of stuff will be remembered. And it's shit that we are in the games industry, which is the most forward-thinking industry you could ever wish to be part of. You look at don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's perfect, but you look at the amount of acceptance for gender, for race, for anything, any area where people can be oppressed and prejudiced. I mean, not saying it's like I said, it's not perfect, but the community itself, as in the people working in the industry, you look at like the people on the front line, the community managers, they all understand. Look, we are miles ahead of. I don't want to single out any industries. Let's pick out construction, just because. Chatting to Crispo, friend of Ice Cream Uploads, he has had some serious mental health. Well, he does have serious mental health problems. If you've met him, you'll understand that. But no, he's had some serious physical problems, and his employers weren't letting him go home. He obviously will be able to now, but as of yesterday, he wasn't able to work remotely. He had to go into the office despite having extreme medical conditions. But in the games industry, we've kind of moved forward, not necessarily games, but creative industries. We all work at home. We've been able to work at home since before Boris Johnson shouted it last night. But then you think, okay, well, look at how good the games industry is with that, trying to make sure that we're all taken care of. And then you see, like, we had it last week with GameStop, and we're having it. We're still talking about it up until last night with Game, and obviously Game is being controlled by Mike Ashley, which is a separate conversation already. But it's so frustrating to see, and I think that's where it is. It's that juxtaposition of how creative and forward-thinking the video games industry is versus how greedy games retail is. Or not even games retail, just retail in general, but obviously games are tacked into that. I mean, we've had our 2 pence conversations on our thoughts of games retail and markups and exploitivism many times before, but it doesn't really come as any sort of surprise that they act like that, to be fair.
Well, it's like I say, we are as a community or as an industry, the video gaming industry, we have still managed to put on, not us as Jelly, but in the community itself, I've managed to put on world-class esports tournaments, i.e., the Overwatch League is being played online, CS:GO games are being played online. We've managed to
not
overcome
us as jelly. I think you found we've put on the world's most classiest esports tournaments. But we'll skate past that point and let you continue.
But yeah, in recent times, shall we say then, the world has, well, the video gaming industry has managed to evolve. We've adapted, we've overcome. We've still managed to put on the world's biggest Overwatch tournaments and League of Legends, CS:GO, all the esports tournaments that you come to know and expect every single week are still being done, just not in public arenas. So they are still being able to play it online. You do have companies like EGL that are still managing to put out their content and stream these world over esports tournaments. So for us as introverts, it's not that difficult for us to be able to do that because we have the facilities and essentially, I don't want it. This sounds really horrible, but we've kind of worked towards this for a long time. The video game industry has been working towards getting everything online for such a long time now that if anything was like this was to ever happen, we're in a position where we can still continue our day-to-day lives from behind a screen rather than being inside an arena. So, like I say, we have forward thinking in that respect. It's just kind of waiting for the world to catch up with us. But all the people used to say you still play video games and you watch people stream games. They're now the people sat downstairs in the front room watching their favorite celebrity stream on Instagram. And it's like, well, we do the same thing, but we watch our favorite streamers play video games. Like, what's the difference? And now people are starting to catch up and think, actually, they may not be as nerdy as people are being made out to be. Like, that's the thing that I think people need to realize.
It's so fun to see that level of realization and almost to the point of saturation where even the so you literally watch people play a video game you could play yourself, and it's like, okay, yeah. Did you see the United game last night? Yeah, did you? All right, yeah. So you literally watched people play a game that you could play yourself. You missing the point so much. But now they're all like, oh fuck, it's actually pretty good, isn't it? Yeah.
But their favourite celebrity, i.e. if it's a reality TV star or their favourite actor or something like that, I'd probably say the vast majority of the most famous people in the world are either making videos away from the big screen and they're doing it on YouTube or they're doing it on Instagram Live or something like that. And the people used to take the piss out of us for watching video games being played online, or streamers or personalities playing video games, and now the people that are actually just taking a step back and actually going, I'm watching my favorite celebrity do TikToks or whatever it could be. So it kind of feels like the tables turned in our respect.
Bibby just mentioned that people used to take the piss out of us. That was obviously the royal us, because we are ice cream uploads. People never take the piss out of ice cream uploads. They can just sit and admire. That's just the way
Absolutely. Each and every weekday at 10 a.m.
Yeah, you goddamn right. But yes. Anyway, let's move forward, because obviously we know we are in lockdown. Let's use that word. We're in lockdown right now. Obviously, don't be going out. Don't be going out. You don't need to. Just do the necessary things to keep everything moving. But look after your loved ones. Stay indoors. And a lot of people are doing that, which is a nice, tedious link into our next article, which shows that obviously it's currently a negative situation for the majority of the world right now, but positives can come out of negatives. And if that is just following Ice Cream Uploads on Twitch by hitting the little purple button in the top right hand corner of the screen, then do that right now. But other people are just spending their time using video games, as Bibby's just mentioned. People are seeing their celebrities, their media sources, their influencers, whether they be gaming influencers or not, they're now stepping into realms of content creation, be that TikTok, be that whatever. And people are spending more time using creative media, particularly playing games. As we can see in the next article, Steam has set a new record amid worldwide I'll read that again. It's new records amid worldwide lockdown. This is written by Austen Goslin for Polygon. And
Can I just say that was a near perfect segue.
Until I butchered it with the title.
Yeah, it was literally like it was 10, 10, 10, 10, 9,
No.
9, 8.
Back 7-6. Back to 10 again. Yay! But thank you. So this article written by Austen Goslin for Polygon says, with COVID-19 continuing to spread around the world, many countries, I just want to stop for a second actually, hate when you get articles that are so heavily based on SEO that they have to link every single word out for the backlinks back into it. It's like, am I reading a text, or is it like one of those things where it's like red word, black word, red word, black word, red word, black what is it? Anyway, so with COVID-19, I need to kill my Slack because it's making noises. With COVID-19 continuing to spread around the world, many countries and cities have encouraged everyone who can practice social distancing. Everyone who can to practice social distancing. There we go. This means no large gatherings, no going out to eat, and a whole lot more staying inside. As one of the world's foremost stay-inside activities, video games are something more people are using. Steam, Valve PC's gaming marketplace, has hit a new record number of users over the weekend with more than 22 million players logging on. This is up from the previous high of 20 million just a few days earlier. Counter-Strike Global Offensive remains the platform's most played game, as it has for the last several months, topping out a record-breaking 1.1 million players on Sunday, March 22nd, according to StreamDB.info. Interestingly, big Steam hits like CSGO, PUBG, ding, 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 and Dota 2 that normally make up the top of the Steam charts haven't grown monumentally as Steam's players have increased. Well, that's surprising. But instead, players have gravitated more towards other games rather than everyone jumping into the same popular competitive multiplayer experiences, which does surprise me actually, but I'll jump on that in a bit. Anyway, thousands of players are moving to games like the new released Doom Eternal or even 2013's Tomb Raider reboot, which is free on Steam right now to encourage players to stay inside. GG. Also, free for the moment is Football Manager 2020, which has jumped all the way up to the top 5 on Steam charts. Also, solid GG. While few other platforms offer such direct access to player statistics as Steam, it seems safe to say that more people are playing more games across the board, which might help account for things like the recent Xbox Live outages that have occurred in the last few weeks. Though the number of COVID-19 cases in some of the earliest countries to report the virus, such as China and South Korea, have decreased, the United States and other countries are only now seeing their infection rates increase as testing becomes widely available. In an attempt to curtail the pandemic, officials in various parts of the world and many states in the US are beginning to issue lockdowns, which encourage people to stay in their homes and force the closure of all non-essential businesses. With these lockdowns on the rise for at least the next month, it's likely that we haven't seen an end to the increase in players on Steam and other platforms. Where was it? Was it there? That bit, which sounded like it was like fail. But it's actually pretty decent by the time you get to it. Interestingly, big Steam hits like CSGO, PUBG, and Dota 2, massive games, particularly PUBG, that normally make up the top of the Steam charts, haven't grown monumentally as Steam's players have increased. Instead, players have gravitated more towards other games rather than everyone jumping into the same popular competitive multiplayer experiences. I think that shows you that it's not a boom of gamers, it's a boom of society. Society has a lot of different people, so the fact that Counter-Strike has had a record-breaking 1.1 million players, but yet still hasn't grown exponentially, it just shows that there's just more people playing games. Not more people playing the top games, just games in general, which is good, which is nice to see.
Experiences, aren't they, rather than just going online and getting absolutely pooned. They're just looking for experiences, very much like the way that I go to play video games. I look to, fair enough, I'm going to play games with my mates in multiplayer games. However, my favourite thing to do is to find a game that I want to experience as a single player. And for entertainment purposes, it feels like this is probably the best time now for most people to get into that game. Very much like you're doing with your stocked pile first, but like one-player games, you've got a lot of experiences that you haven't got round to playing yet because you're into playing PUBG, but you as a hardcore gamer will be playing PUBG for the foreseeable. However, the casual people who may have had a PlayStation for certain games over the last 7 years, or an Xbox or whatever console it might be, they could have had single player games that they've just been checking off the list every single month with PlayStation Plus or Xbox Gold, and they think actually probably now is the time to go in and get them games and actually play through them because I've got a lot more time than I usually do. So overall, it's a good thing for everyone. One, we're staying in, which is the best thing to be doing at the moment, and two, we're clearing our backlogs down, as a lot of people will have backlogs.
You goddamn right. I've got Doom Eternal, which I still haven't fired up yet. Yay!
Yeah, I've got the Xbox all set up. It's all up to date. It took nearly 2 hours to do the update because it was that big. It hadn't been switched on in that long. And also Doom Eternal, which was like 70 gig, has now been downloaded too.
That's the sequel. That one. You said Doom Eternal.
It's Doom Eternal. Why didn't they use that? That's a great name.
No, because you get Doom, then Doom Eternal, and then they could just do like Modern Warfare 2. This is like Doom Eternal. That's the next one. There you go. Or Tomb. With it. No, never mind. Anyway, morning, guys. Able to catch this live every day now, thanks to me finally working from home. Well, good morning, Chucky. I know Baby did shout out a little bit earlier on, but good morning. Welcome. Feel free to. Do you know what? That seat that you're in now? That's it. Fine. That's it. Your seat now. We've reserved that for you. You can sit there every single day. That's it. We've saved it for you. Welcome. Enjoy. Everyone else as well. Do you know what? Actually, do you know what? All of you that are watching this now, where you're watching it, feel free to have that seat. That's your seat for the scoop if you're watching it live, or not.
Season ticket.
Yeah,
it's a free season ticket technically.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can upgrade your season ticket by hitting the subscribe button. If you want to do that, feel free. If you have a Twitch Prime, make sure you use it as well. I mean, usually streamers will go, you don't have to use it here. Just make sure you use it. No, use it here. Use it right now. Yeah. Right now. Check if you've got Twitch Prime and drop it. Nah, I'm joking. Sorry. Sorry. God. But yeah. See, this... Back to the story. Obviously, COVID-19, more people staying indoors and more people are playing games. I think that's good. It's good because... there's definitely no social stigma to the level that it has been in the past in terms of obviously nerd playing games. Yeah. I mean, go back 10 years ago, people would take the piss if you were sat playing games when you couldn't admit, maybe not 10 years, but excuse me, that is definitely being eroded as time goes on. But this current lockdown, the fact that we're on worldwide lockdown and we've seen the record for number of people on Steam hit 20 million, and then a couple of days later go up another 10% in just a couple of days to hit 22 million, and we've still got a massive way to go in terms of getting through this. We've just had our lockdown in force for 3 weeks. People that might be, I'll watch Grand Tour on Amazon Prime because I've just watched that's fresh in mind, or I'll watch The Witcher on Netflix or whatever. Once you've exhausted that sort of stuff, people will then like, okay, what else can I do? You've read your books, you've watched your Prime and your Netflix content. There's video games that sat there, so I reckon that this could go up even further, and potentially even considerably further in the next few weeks as well, as more and more places. We've only just hit lockdown today, so we're not even at the point. People were still gallivanting, drinking prosecco in parks and hitting market stalls on the weekend in the UK, despite everything going on. So yeah, this we'll see more people playing games, which will mean that games will continue down the road of being socially acceptable. I mean, it is anyway. I mean, kids are standing in playgrounds doing the Take the L dance while chatting about Tim the Tapman or whatever. It's already socially acceptable, but it'll just become more of a social norm. I think I would be surprised if, maybe not straight away, maybe just something that this is the seeds being sown over time. You've got obviously the ability to have watch parties and things like that on Twitch, where you can all sit down and watch a film if you've all got access to Amazon Prime and things like that. I think you'll start to see more social experiences being generated in video games. They'll probably take the learnings from this and find ways to make games be something that's a bit more socially shared going forward, which is wonderful, which is nice. Yo, says Enix, good morning. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Are you indoors? I hope you are, baby. Fatman Dev says, I'm glad McDonald's and others closed where it's coughs and sneezes spread diseases instead of going coughs and sneezes. Well, it's a secret seasoning. Well, I had my secret seasoning yesterday, actually. 20 nuggets and a Big Mac meal with a nice...
Did you pick up a few tubs of the special sauce?
I didn't. We've had a conversation like a few times. You had it on like some, was it a sandwich or a wrap or a
spicy bean burgers, mate. Spicy bean burgers. Oof.
Well, I like it, but I like it on a Big Mac. So when we make burgers at home, I go like big wedge of cheese, some baconaise, some like Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. So yeah, I love Big Mac sauce, but on a Big Mac, when I take it away, it's still nice. It just doesn't have the same. I'd rather have like the ultimate sex in my mouth. But yeah, been indoors for like 2 weeks, just sat playing AC. Assassin's Creed? Animal Crossing?
No,
Animal Crossing. There we go. Speaking of Animal Crossing, Half-Life Alyx is out. When are we pulling apart Half-Life Alyx's review scores? Because
did it come out yesterday? I thought that was just like the review embargo.
Yeah, I mean that. I've seen a bunch of the review scores anyway. When are we pulling apart Half-Life's reviews from our
today? Then today's the day.
Or are we giving it a few days to normalise like we did with Doom and AC?
I don't know. Usually what do you call it? Like the pre-reviews would go out a couple of days before, wouldn't it? And then all the reviews would normally hit yesterday.
Well, I saw the likes of Lyric was streaming it, Halifax, PUBG streamer who I tend to watch quite a lot, was streaming it last night. I turned it on, and you know, it actually looked classic. It looked so good that I turned it off. As in like, I don't want to spoil it because it looks like I could enjoy this if I ever get the opportunity to play it. So I turned it off straight away. But yeah, it looked good. So anyway, 2 Valve indexes have been ordered. We just need you to subscribe to Ice Cream Plus to pay for them. So do it right now.
Yes. For my own personal benefit, I'm going to want to leave it a few days. For you are going to want to do it today.
Do you know? Let's go right now. Right now.
Do you remember what score you give it?
Not at all. Not at all.
Do you want to do it now? Because I can tell you the scores right now.
Do you know? For those that are in today, let's have a little bit of an update. But let's pick it. Let's give it another day or two. But see where we are now.
That works for me.
Okay, let's have spoilers for the people in the chat now. So what did you say? Let's not give everyone else's scores away. We'll just do me and you for now.
I said 85.
And I said
92.
92. Ooh. And what is it on at the moment?
92.
Okay, nice. Okay, let's just do it now. That's fine. Okay, we'll sit on that. It could change a little bit. I know Doom did a little bit because you were kind of nailed on, and then it went a little bit further away from me and a bit further away from you. So yeah, we'll leave that a couple of days. It could normalise when we get a few more in. But yeah, Microsoft and Valve are working on a new HP VR headset, possible a Series X VR. That doesn't surprise me.
What any of that means.
I'm assuming HP, as in, does that not?
Hewlett Packard.
Yeah, Hewlett Packard. I thought, is that it? But are Hewlett Packard on Microsoft's level anymore? I don't know. Or does he mean a new Harry Potter VR headset? Possibly Series X VR. I mean, that doesn't surprise me in the fact that Microsoft are well behind in the VR element, but they're not at the same time. They're behind in the fact that PSVR exists. The PSVR isn't anything that is widely adopted. People would like it, but there's no reason to have it. And Half-Life Alyx isn't going to change that because it's not on PSVR anyway. It might not even be on the Vive, or is it on the Vive? I can't remember. But it's obviously on Valve Index and the Oculus Rift and so on. But yeah, that's not going to change the huge install. It's kind of isolated to PC gamers that have that hardware already.
Mate, I'm watching the trailer for this Half-Life Alyx and it looks fucking insane.
Oh, it is HP as in Hewlett Packard. Jordan, thank you very much for the link. I'll bring this up on stream now while Baby checks out that trailer.
Oh my god.
So HP is teasing a new VR headset in partnership with Valve and Microsoft. HP calls it a no-compromise VR headset, written by Addy Robertson for The Verge. This was written yesterday. HP is teasing a follow-up to its Reverb virtual headset made in collaboration with Microsoft and Valve. The announcement coincided with the release with Valve's release of Half-Life Alyx, the most anticipated VR game. So the Reverb was a $600 part of Microsoft's virtual reality.
Oh my god, this game is
Interesting.
literally going to change the way that we play VR games. No joke.
Uh, in what way? Do you want to send over the link and we can
Yeah,
share it
let's
with
go.
the class? We can share it with the class. But yeah, the gist of that is there's no real information yet, but they've teased a partnership between Steam VR, Valve, Microsoft, Xbox, and HP, Hewlett Packard, as to create a no compromise, potentially decent headset. We will see. We will see.
It's in Slack.
Is it the Metacritic link?
Yeah, it's the trailer underneath the link, underneath the score.
Okay, okay. Uh,
This looks insane. Like, which we've obviously got Arizona Sunshine now, which is the one game that I wanted to actually play in VR, and it was good. However, I don't think I've managed to program it right, and I haven't got used to it because I haven't played that much VR stuff. So definitely wasn't doing it justice. However, this, because of the way that the whole VR thing works, i.e., the way that the index goes onto your hands and the sensors that it will use and things like that, this looks next level. And it looks like if there was a game that'll take it into the next level of VR, this definitely looks like it could be the game.
that's exactly the kind of thought that I had last night looking at when I was watching Halifax play it. It had. I have a really almost like well, I say almost definitely childish way of playing games. Almost to the level of OCD. If I'm running along in Uncharted or Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order or whatever, and there's breakable vases and things, I break every single one. I'll run through them. I'll go back. I'll try push things over edges of cliffs and stuff. Not important stuff, just crap. And
Yeah,
I get distracted by that sort of stuff. But I love that level. That level of interactivity with your environment, your surroundings. That kind of it adds to the experience for me because I'm a
absolutely.
fidget. I'm a faffer. And in this yesterday, the bit that I saw, Halifax was in. Like I don't know, it looked like some sort of like weird loft apartment thing, and there was like a bunch of markers, like dry white board markers on a side, and you could pick up the markers and write on the windows and stuff like that. So it was like it wrote like Halifax loves chat or whatever, but there was like 3 or 4 different color marker pens, so you can graffiti on these walls, and then there's a rubber so you can rip it all out and start again. And it's just shit like that that's pointless and meaningless and doesn't add anything to the overall game, but is there that shows you how much detail they've gone into giving you the experience. That's the kind of
Yeah,
stuff that we don't have in VR because no one's done VR to the point of, oh look, you can open that and you can pick up the thing, which is happening on the screen right now. That happens because that's what you need to do, but nobody goes beyond that in VR because no one's pushed the boundaries. Nobody understands it enough to the point of how can we take it further, but they're finally starting to see that with this. And little things like that. I don't know if you can see the video there, Bib. You might have seen
what
it.
minute are you on so I can go back?
It was. It's like I don't know, 2.5 minutes ish. It was just it picked up a gun. He was opening a barrel, but because he had the gun in his hand, like lifting up the lid rather than dropping the gun. You could lift up the lid by sticking the end of the gun in
Yeah,
it and lifting it up. Just simple. It's so simple, but the fact that you can do stuff like that shows you. I mean, you want that level of level of in-depth detail. If you run back to a VR game from a year ago, it's like, do you want to open the thing or pick up the gun? Choose one or the other. You can't do two in a creative, like real lifey sort of fashion. And it just looks, yeah, it looks good. It looks good.
it's definitely a game that absolutely love to play anyway.
Um, It's on Steam Store at the moment. Alex is on all apart from Piv, or do you mean Vive? Because the tracking is dog shit. If Xbox has Steam VR, it would be mad, but Microsoft said no VR recently, so we will see. Alex is amazing, played it yesterday. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, Microsoft is lacking in the VR department, but it's not a loss because there isn't anything of real major worth in VR until now. Yes, there is Beat Saber, which is class, but if you want it, that's not a gaming experience, so to speak. Not in the core terms, it absolutely is a gaming experience, but in terms of it's almost like the Switch isn't a console. That's an alternative experience. Beat Saber is an alternative gaming experience. Put Beat Saber on a platform where you can play Half-Life Alyx as well, and then add a few more. Then VR is something that's of merit, and then now you can say that Microsoft is missing out on VR. At the moment, it's not. It just doesn't have access to the couple of VR experiences. But if we get a few more Half-Life Alyxes, then yeah. Let's get rid of the video off screen now, because it's like 4 minutes long or whatever, 10 minutes long. Yeah, we're not watching all of that. But pretty much nail on the head with the review scores is what some people might say. Oh, makes change. I'll take one.
You tied top. If you was to take today's scores, but you say we have to settle, so if you go down by 1, ooh.
No, it's fine. We'll take today's. I've changed it back because I completely forgot there was a scoring element to it. So we'll go by today. Nah, we'll what day are we on? Tuesday. We will give it until Thursday, because say if the game came out yesterday, so like Doom came out on Friday, we gave it Saturday, Sunday, and did it on Monday. The game came out on Monday, we'll give it Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll do it on Thursday. It's the same sort of like lead period then. So we'll do it on Thursday, and we'll see where we are there, see how the scores have normalised over that point in time.
Yeah, man.
So let's close that, and we'll jump on. So from one bit of new technology to another. Stadia launches a makers program to attract experienced indies. Google offers tech help, hardware, and funding to devs using Unity and including Stadia amongst launch day platforms. Written by Brendan Sinclair for Games Industry Biz, the article says Google wants more independent developers self-publishing on Stadia, and today announced the Stadia Makers program to help those creators bring their titles to the game streaming platform. As part of the program, Stadia is offering developers up to 5 physical development kits, an unspecified amount of funding, and technical assistance from Unity. As for what it is looking for in exchange, developers must be building their game in Unity 2019.3 or later, with a planned release this year or next. Exclusivity is not required, although Stadia does need to be on the list of launch day platforms. Finally, Stadia specified that it's looking for independent developers with prior experience. Applications are now open on Stadia's official site. So Stadia is back, and in all, I mean, it's a very brief article, but all intents and purposes, it's a pretty good article. Can we request songs? Says Chronix. I mean, what, from a sing along? My love.
DJ Ice Cream on the decks.
Usually we would take song requests. Not that we have made a thing of it, but when we're doing this show, this is The Scoop, which is a new show that we turn into a podcast and a YouTube video. So we don't have music in this because we don't want those copyright strikes. So yes, ish, but not right now. Saw a bit where a headcrab jumped and the person grabbed its leg while moving away. Well, like a proper Matrix sort of moment. Grab it in midair. Get the fuck out of here. But anyway, Stadia launches Makers Program. Bib, thoughts?
It's a good move for them in general, because they will want to get as many different studios and games eventually on their platform. So it makes sense for them to want to be able to give something in return for having them be a part of a launch day program going forward. But it's what kind of studios are going to be looking to try and partner up with Stadia at this point. I imagine a lot of indie studios will be already cracking on with their games. I don't think there's going to be many indie studios that are waiting for an opportunity like this to try and jump on a platform, waiting for someone to give them dev kits to be able to create games. I'm fairly certain there will be a lot of games that are already in creation. But yeah, it's another play by Stadia. They are still cracking on.
It's a good play, in my opinion. The fact that they don't require exclusivity. I'm going to sneeze. Let's get my tissue. Excuse me. Sure. And the fact that they don't require exclusivity, that's kind of the best thing for them, because if you were saying to developers, we want you to make games only for our platform, and then you just leave it at that, developers will be like, well, your platform is shit. So no, you're all right, thanks, I'll pass on. However, if you say to them, we will give you hardware, we will give you the technical support to build the games on that hardware, and we will give you money to develop your games. And you can put them on Steam and on the Switch and on consoles. where you can make money from those as well. We just need your hours to be alongside that, not 3 months later. If you do that for us, then we will help you. That is a good offering from Steam and from Stadia, and that is an offering that shows that they might be potentially getting into the realm of thinking that, do you know what? We can't expect a Red Dead or a Doom to suddenly make people buy our hardware offering, because why would you buy Stadia when you've got your PS4 there, when you can just play Red Dead and Doom on that, or your PC there where you can play Red Dead and Doom on that? Why would you go out and buy the Stadia? The fact that they've kind of gone, okay, do you know what? We don't have anything to offer, so how about we just offer an alternative right now, in general, to get more people putting content on there? Because Google has an issue with Stadia in the fact that if you have one or two exclusive, that's wonderful. But what are people going to do when the exclusives have gone? If you give them your Guild, if you give them Guild to play, and let's just assume that's a console selling game. It's not, but let's assume it is. All right, great. They stay there and they've played Guild, but then what are they going to play after Guild? What are they going to play wherever? The fact that they need a catalogue there, the fact that they're willing to work with indie developers to give them something there. I mean, I'm assuming they're hoping the indie developers will give them something like a Goose Game or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah, they've got. I mean, this definitely is the right mentality for them to have. Like, this is the video game move. The stuff that they've made previously and the announcements that they've made previously, it definitely wasn't video game moves. This is definitely the biggest move they've made, I think, from memory anyway. The fact that they want people from the ground up to be able to come and try and work alongside Stadia. I mean, the biggest move that they made was taking, I can't remember her name, from Sony Santa Monica. The lady who...
Was it Sharon Studstill or something like that?
Yeah, it's taken from the Game of War franchise. And brought them over to Stadia. That again was a big video game move, but this is obviously working with a lot wider community when it comes to creating these games. So yeah, I mean, again, another step in the right direction for them. Got to give them props where it's deserved, innit?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I didn't know. No worries. Question. Not wrong with asking questions. What's your thoughts on working? Oh, okay, maybe issues asking questions like what? Oil?
I don't think this is the channel for you, if I'm being honest.
What do you think about Black Ops 1? I think that was a long time ago. Morning, Pirate. Thank you very much for the host, dude. Much appreciated. Chronix, what do you think about Black Ops 1? Let's flip the question. What do you think? What do you think about pipeline and working on pipelines in oil fields? I mean, I want to know your thoughts. Please feel free to share in the chat. But yeah, do you know what? It's good. I'm happy. I like updates like that from Stadia. It's not going to make me buy it. You get me a bunch of indie games, and it's still probably not going to make me buy it because I'm not massively into indie games. But it's not about me. Yeah. It's about the greater, the mass, the number of people. You want to appeal to the many rather than the few, and the fact that they're doing things like offering accessible incentive schemes for developers, particularly now. If you look at it right now, developers out there that are indie developers, they don't have mega turnover, and the world is going to shit outside. By getting some form of guaranteed income, this being locked indoors and not being able to go anywhere could see a boom of indie development, and being given guaranteed funding to do that development from the likes of Google, you could see a mini surge of content going out there. You may even, I mean, they said they don't need to be exclusive. Exclusivity is not required, although there could be a lot of that coming from it too. There may be a case of, okay, we will give you, I mean, I don't know what figures. Let's just round numbers. Let's say they go, we'll give you $100,000 of support. However, if you go exclusive, we'll give you $250 or something like that. You may get that sort of stuff. You may not, but the fact that they're trying and doing the right moves is good for them. But they are still years away. It's all right having indie stuff, but you then need your headliners, your showstoppers, your icons, your main event. That's Shawn Michaels quotes from WWE, by the way.
I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy.
I said Shawn Michaels, not was that Scottish version of Shawn? Hey,
Yeah.
Shawn.
I was trying to do the Shawn Michaels one.
Shawn.
It's so bad.
Shawn McMichaels. I think I'm cute, eh? I know. Stadia will be dead at some point, even though they got big studios working on exclusives. Possibly. But everyone said that about Switch, and now look where it is. Don't count it out until it's out. Didn't Ouya try something like that when they launched? Yeah, as did... no, actually, OnLive didn't get that far, but they don't have the facilities that Google does have. Google has the Google Play Store, obviously on mobile devices, and they do have many other divergent technologies, so the likes of the YouTubes and stuff, which could be game-changing for them, which none of those had. However, do I think they have fully realised how Stadia will work and how it should be used and how they can utilise those platforms to do it? I don't think they do. So, yeah. I think they are more likely to be in the dead category, but I think it's like they're 51% likely to die and 49% not likely. So I'd say it's still pretty close. Depending on how they go, they could salvage something, but I don't see it being an overnight success. It's going to be years and years and years and years. I don't care about oil pipelines. Well, they're important. You say that, you don't care about them, but if they weren't there, you'd soon notice. Fact, mate. Fact. You boys letting the beard grow rough whilst in lockdown. Do you know what? I did the... What would you call it? The bottom end of the mustache, because I was getting like tickly hairs on the lip this morning. But yeah, I just thought, you know what? Can't be bothered. It's not so much that like the beard. I've got a beard trimmer, so I can do all the lengths and stuff like that. But it's the fact that obviously hat hair, but hair's getting out of control. Woof, got some mega hat hair going on. But whilst the hair's going out of control, I just feel like what's the point in even maintaining the beard as well? So. So yeah, I'll probably trim it tomorrow or something like that when it gets to the point where it's like doing that tickly itch, and I'm thinking, But yeah, this is like 3 days of isolation. You give me a week and it'd be like, I look like Joe Wilkinson from 8 out of 10 Cats. Yes. Anyway. So Steam Makers Program sounds pretty good. We need to find out a bit more, but it sounds pretty good. I mean, I'm happy to see that Steam are taking steps in the right direction. They are working or willing to work with developers to bring more content to the platform. However, it's not just Steam that are moving forward, as we can see in our next article. Microsoft, that we get a first look at Microsoft's xCloud game streaming service for Windows PCs. So Microsoft has started testing xCloud for Windows PCs internally. Written by Tom Warren for The Verge. This article says Microsoft has started testing its Project xCloud game streaming service for Windows 10 PCs this week. The software giant is making the preview version, which lets you stream Xbox games to a PC, available to all Microsoft employees. The Verge has been able to obtain exclusive screenshots of how xCloud will work on PCs. Microsoft has developed an Xbox game streaming app for Windows 10 that will be available in the Windows Store. Much like the Android or iOS versions, the app requires a Bluetooth Xbox One controller, a Microsoft account, and a good internet connection. Well, that's me screwed then. The PC app will also support streaming games from an Xbox One console locally or remotely instead of using Microsoft's xCloud server blades. There are a variety of games available to Microsoft employees to test, but the app is currently limited to 720p streams for now. This internal preview is running at 720p resolution with 1080p just around the corner, reveals an internal Microsoft support note. The experience is very similar to what is available on Android and iOS, even down to the user interface and the way you access and stream games. It certainly looks to be ready to be tested broadly, and it's likely that Microsoft will roll this out to external Xbox testers soon. Microsoft also recently upgraded its xCloud server blades to include 8 Xbox One S consoles in a single server instance. That's up from the 4 the company was previously testing. Microsoft is now working to eventually transition these xCloud servers to the Xbox Series X processor, and this next-gen processor is far more powerful and capable of running 4 Xbox One S game sessions simultaneously on a single chip. It also includes a new built-in video encoder that is up to 6... word salad. There we go. Microsoft has committed to launching xCloud this year with PS4 controller support and this Windows 10 streaming on the way. The Xbox maker is planning to integrate Project xCloud with Xbox Game Pass later this year, allowing players to stream games from the company's subscription service directly to the cloud. What say you, Stadia?
This is how they do it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the difference. Go on the bib.
That's mustard.
You are our resident, well-versed, fully tested Microsoft xCloud guru.
Well, I haven't tested it on the PC, but
No, you have. It's fine. You have. Of course you have.
for the audience that I am absolutely not blagging, it works perfectly. But no, it is definitely something. I only realised that this was happening this morning when I was having a look for news articles. So yes, it definitely will be in my line of things to test going forward. But I mean, if it's anything close to what we're obviously how I played on the xCloud, it's going to be dynamite. It's going to be absolutely amazing. You can already play Game Pass stuff on your PC already, so it'd be interesting to see how this differs. I don't think there'll be any difference, if I'm being honest. Maybe, well, I think the difference will be that you can only stream at 720 so far, with the 1080 coming further down the line. But yeah, again, it's another step in the right direction. They're taking big moves to be the lead company when it comes to video game streaming. So yeah, it's a big thumbs up from your boy.
Nice. It shows you kind of the differences as well. It's like they are testing solid 720p and promising that 1080p will be coming. They are starting to what's the proverb? Walk before you can run. So they're nailing their walking at 720p before they start having a bit of a sprint at 1080p. And I know we've touched on it many times, so I'll try to not go down too far down the road, but we've just been talking about Steam making the right moves, and they are doing with their content approach in terms of trying to sign up developers to get new games. But look at that, how easy and how simple is that? Microsoft is trialing 720p, they're looking to add more, and it will be coming out soon. Nice, as opposed to, yeah, we've got 4K, motherfuckers, 4K native. It's like, has it got 4K? Well, no. It's kind of, it upscales. So it upscales to 4K. Well, it doesn't even upscale to 4K, but it kind of gets there. So does it get there? Well, no, but it kind of. So it doesn't then. No, it doesn't. No, and that's the difference. Microsoft aren't over-promising, under-delivering. They're going, do you know what? Something cool is happening, and we are going to let you in when it's possible. Not all of you. We'll let some of you in, and you will help us build this system, and we'll work on it together. Whereas Google said, we've got something amazing for you that's premium, and you can pay for it. Does it work? No, it doesn't. But you can pay for it. Which then ties back to the that meme that David sent me, like the Tropic Thunder one. You went full retail? No, you never go full retail. And that's what they did. You boys, I've done that one already. My barbers were closed for 2 weeks before the lockdown. Gonna walk out of lockdown with people thinking Bigfoot's back.
Tell you what though, the barbers and the hair salons and places like that aren't going to be open for the foreseeable are going to be rubbing their hands together by the time all this is over and we're allowed to go back out again properly. The amount of business that they're all going to get is going to be through the roof.
It's going to be like Earthquake and Typhoon, the natural disasters from old school wrestling. Just beards and hair aplenty. Good morning. Caveman number 1, caveman number 2. It'd be like Jumanji when you see Alan Parrish come out of the game with his big head of hair and his beard kind of thing. Yeah. But anyway, beards aside, Microsoft xCloud is coming to PCs soon. There was a bit of technical jargon which I didn't quite get in the middle. I'm assuming that's basically saying they will have better processors and more of them to allow more people to play better quality games using the Xbox One X or Series X chipsets and things like that we're saying. So in short, they have it working, it's going pretty well, and they're going to scale it up, which is nice. So that'll be another thing to add, which will add, no doubt, to the bajillion people. What was it? 22 million people have been playing Steam games. Obviously, that won't add to Steam. That'll add to Microsoft's content, and they don't share those numbers. But you can guarantee if there's 22 million people playing games on Steam, there's probably 22 million for each other platform too. So if you are one of the 88 million people playing games on Steam, Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox, then have a lovely day. I've just lost my pen. No.
So I'd like to see the numbers of how many people have subscribed to Games Pass and PlayStation Now over the last couple of days. well, over the last couple of weeks actually.
Do you know? I actually think there hasn't been a substantial enough push in that sort of time. Because if you've got an Xbox, say you've got an Xbox One, not even an S or an X, you've had it for a couple of years, you don't work in the games industry, or you're not mega into games, or life just gets in the way, so your Xbox has been sat there unloved a little bit. But now you're thinking, oh, I'm back. I can play some games now because I'm working from home. I don't have to commute, or I'm not allowed to work, so I'm being forced to spend time at home. So I've got time to play games. This is where I think we should have like Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Now plastered everywhere. It's like, okay, well, you can spend 50 quid on Doom Eternal, or you can spend like nothing for 3 months and get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and get access to the Forzas and the Gears of Wars and the whatever, and the old Doom I think was on it as well. So you can get access to all of this stuff. This is where I would be absolutely going balls deep with my marketing in that sort of way. I'd make sure I get that message out everywhere, but I've not really seen much of that recently, unless that's just because it's come out of the blue and they've got absolutely no plans in place for last like no what's the word, no notice campaigns kind of thing.
Well, I'll be getting Games Pass Ultimate tomorrow because I think they've got 3 months for £10, maybe something along that. Anyway, so I'm going to be signing up to that tomorrow anyway. Because what else am I going to be doing other than streaming games? I've got Doom Eternal ready, so I can get that streamed. Then I can also jump online and do some whatever it is on it. I ain't even had a look at the Games Pass catalog, but I know it's a banger. So there'll definitely be something that we can play and stream on that as well.
You're goddamn right.
Content, boys.
You content with boys? That's nice.
Yes.
That's nice.
OnlyFans.
Hey. Anyway, on that bombshell, when we're talking about OnlyFans, I think we're pretty much done for the day. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have liked what you have seen, hopefully you've liked it enough to think about hitting the follow button. Just in the top corner of the screen, up there somewhere, there is a little button that allows you to follow the channel. It's free. Feel free to do that. It doesn't cost you anything. But what it does do is keep you notified when we go live. We usually go live at 10 a.m. or so. We're kind of about there. 10 a.m.-ish each and every single weekday with this show, The Scoop, where we bring you our thoughts from all of the latest happenings in the world of video games. As well as that, we have additional gameplay streams. We would usually be telling you to stick around on the channel because Josie usually would stream at 12 noon on the channel. But obviously, with lockdown, Josie can't get into our home studio, so there will be no content from Josie in this channel for a while. But Josie is still out there. We have, if you check out at Ice Cream Uploads on Twitter, you will have seen a post that went out yesterday. We showed you where you can subscribe to Josie on Twitch. I would tell you right now, but even if I told you, the chances are you probably won't know how to spell it. There we go! Bibbs has done it in the chat. I was going to say Lord Kasalski Gaming, but then I thought...
Yeah, but I would never have been able to spell that if it wasn't in... in fact, I've got a very small bone to pick with Josie. Josie, if you're listening, how was you only just following us as of yesterday? That is an absolute disgrace.
Do you know what? I'll let her off because we only followed her channel yesterday. So I went into a chat and I was like, well, this is awkward. Follow. So, yeah. Josie will be around the streaming. She won't be streaming on our channel for the foreseeable, obviously. We have no studio access. But she has set up her own channel, which everyone... Feel free to go and follow Josie there as well. You'll be able to keep up to date with her streams as she goes live. And she will be doing, no doubt, a bit more streaming over the coming weeks as well. Because, do you know what? What else is there to do other than engage in the world of video games? But, yeah, that's kind of it from us. Anything you want to add before we do disappear, babe?
Yes, of course. If you do see any video game news knocking around on the social media platform of your choice, then do feel free to tag at We've Got With Being Yo, at Graham_Day, and most importantly, at Ice Cream Uploads with your thoughts and impressions. We'll give you our thoughts and impressions on top of that in the very next show.
Yeah. I jumped the gun then because number one Pirate, who's in the chat and has hosted previously, thank you very much for that again, Pirate, usually hits !socials when we're live, which does that. It drops you all of the links in the chat. But you know, we was talking about barbers. Maybe he's off trimming the do. What were you gonna say?
By the way, I realised where the chatbot's coming from.
Where?
My PC.
GG.
Imagine being that dumb.
Let me see. Despite his claims, Bibby is the champ. Bibby is, in fact, the member of the ice cream team that is least likely to be the champ.
So yeah, the chatbot is live and kicking on my PC.
Nice. There we go.
I only come across it last night when I was uninstalling things. I was like, oh.
It's a good job you said that because, now I know I won't log in on mine because you just get duplicate !socials. Follow us on Twitter. But there we go. One thing we are going to do, obviously Bibby's told you how to get interacting with us. We are going to interact with someone else because I've just seen that a lovely friend of the channel, Mr. Beans TV, has just gone live. So if you guys fancy sticking around, I'm going to hit a host on Beans. Or not. Okay, it doesn't appear to be live on Twitch. Great. Even though he's... I'm using the raid function on the dashboard. Let me try it again.
Right.
Refresh the page. Beans TV _ How can you not find Beans? Okay, I'll do it in the chat. ! Raid. No / raid space Beans TV _ Is that going to work? There we go. It's getting ready to roll. There we go. Yes, have yourselves a very lovely day, ladies and gentlemen. The raid counter is counting down, so I will do that in just a second. But this gives me one final chance to remind you guys that, you know what, you don't have to. It's entirely your option, but please feel free to stay for us. Have yourselves a lovely day. See you soon. And say hi to Beans.